Hey guys! Okay, I'm just gonna wait for some of you to come in. Hey! Okay, are you guys ready? Do you have all your supplies? I have scissors. Do you have paper? I got writing utensils. Okay, we'll get started in like a few minutes. Ooh. I'm doing good. What's up, Rebecca? Hey, Lydia. So how are you guys doing tonight? Okay, well. Okay, throughout the broadcast, if you guys have any questions, you can just like comment it in the chat box and I'll try to look at my screen as much as possible. But yeah, we're about ready to get started, so. Ooh, yeah, Lydia, you can do any kind of utensils you want. I have like a pen, I have like those really thin markers, but I think since we're using like the regular printing paper, like sometimes markers like Sharpies would bleed through, so I think honestly up to you, but I have markers here too. So but yeah, you can use pen, marker, pretty much any writing utensils, pencils. But yeah, so any way you want to customize your own zine, then it's up to you. So yeah. Okay, I'm not sure if I should get started, but I guess I can just like go through it again. But okay, so no problem. Okay, so for those of you who are here, okay, if you have your paper, I'm gonna show you how to make one-page zines. So what I mean by one-page zines are that they're sort of like this. This is one that I made during the summer. It's like super simple. One thing that I really love about this type of zine, one is that it's like super easy to distribute. So as you can see here, it's literally like one page. See, like that. So I think like since most of us are students, it's like pretty easy for us to get a hold of like paper like this. But yeah, so it'll be like one page like this, and then I'll show you how to fold it, how to like do that so that it turns into a booklet. And so yeah, it was like, I don't know, this one's called I Draw Lines, and it was basically literally just like full of art that I drew of lines. But yeah, see? So you can do a lot with these little zines. You can like draw in your art. You can do what I suggested and cut out little printouts. That's what I usually do when I make my zines, so that's why I asked you guys to do that. But okay, this is an example. It's not finished because, I don't know, I have a habit of not finishing things. But see, like I used like some printouts that I made, and then I superimposed like the images on each other, and then I just like did like that. I usually like making zines about like my favorite music, so that's what that was supposed to be, like that. And another great thing about one-page zines is that they're really easy to scan, so then they're really easy to upload to like the internet. And yeah, I just love this zine. It's so awesome. Thank you. Okay. Ooh, okay. Here's another example of a one-page zine that I made. I actually made this like through Photoshop, so I can't show you how to do that now because I would need my computer, and I did not plan for that. But like as you can see, it's like all one page, and then I like made characters, and then I basically just showed like what music they were listening to, stuff like that. And another great thing about these like really small one-page zines is that you can mail them. They're easy to mail, and like so like yeah, you can just put them like that, simple, send it to your favorite people, and I think they will really appreciate that. Okay, so I think we can get started. For those of you who just joined, oh, I didn't even introduce myself, sorry. So I'm Eunice. I'm one of the co-editors-in-chief of the Continuous this year with my wonderful co-editor-in-chief, Rebecca. Shout out to Rebecca, she's awesome. But yeah, so I'm doing that this year. I'm gonna be like hosting some Quaranzines things. But yeah, okay, so I think we can get started. So, like I said, if you have your paper here, then the first thing we're going to do is fold it. Okay, I'm gonna fold it this way, okay? Okay, guys? So, you're gonna fold it like so. Okay, like that. So that it's like half. Like there. Okay, and once you guys have done that, then we're gonna fold it this way. Alright? Thanks, Lydia. I'm having fun too. Okay, so then we're gonna fold it this way, guys. Okay. So it's sort of like making a cross, like that. So remember, fold it this way, and then this way, and then those are our first two folds, okay? Okay, so after that second fold, then we're gonna do this, okay? So we're gonna fold it that way again. Thanks, Maddie. I love this shirt too. I wish I had more Hawaiian shirts, but I cannot go out because COVID, as you all know. Okay, so then your final product is gonna be this. So this is gonna be your, well, the beginning of your little zine. So I'm gonna go through that one more time. But, okay, if we have our full paper here, then we're gonna fold it across like that. Then we're gonna fold it again and make sure it's like half. Like that, and then you just fold it again in half so that you have your little booklet. There you go. Okay, so this is where you are actually okay. Yeah, okay. So one thing that I usually do when I'm making this is that when you have your layout like this, actually, no. You know what? I'm gonna do it another way. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the other step. Now, I said that you guys should either have a pair of scissors or an X-Acto knife. To be honest, for cutting stuff out, the way I usually do it is that if you're cutting things out and there's sort of like grooves and there's sort of like curves that you gotta go through, I really prefer using scissors to do that. So, like, for example, this cutout that I had, I used scissors because you had to, like, really get into, like, a lot of creases. But if you're dealing with, like, straight lines, like we're about to do right now, then I highly suggest getting an X-Acto knife. And most of these objects are available at Dollarama. I think the X-Acto knife comes with this board. This is super useful. I'm sure a lot of you who do crafts know about it, like, already. But, yeah, so it comes with this. It's about $4 plus tax. But I highly recommend X-Acto knives if you're cutting out things that have straight lines. Like, it saved my life. Okay, so next step. Remember, guys, we got our folded up paper. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, and you gotta pay attention to this part. But, okay, you guys see how there's sections? Okay, so for these sections at the end here, leave that alone, okay? We're only gonna cut the middle here, okay? We're only gonna cut that middle part. So I'll cut that out right now. And sometimes you can use, like, a ruler and then, like, cut it. But, I mean, if you want to be, like, totally unhinged, you can just, do freeform. Or if you're in a rush, that's fine. So, like I said, remember, guys, only cut the middle part, okay? Don't cut, like, all the way through, okay? And this is also really helpful to have the pad under you so that you're not, like, cutting up your desk or anything. So once again, I highly recommend buying the X-Acto knife. Only $4 plus tax at Dollarama. Yeah. Okay. So once you do that, it's gonna look like this, guys. See, it's like cut, but only in the middle. Okay, the edges are like still intact, but you're just cutting like right there. If you can see that, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh! Yeah, I know, sometimes like, oh, it's not sharp. Ooh, yeah. Highly recommend your X-Acto knife be sharp so that it cuts like really well. It's okay. It's just a mishap. We can bounce back. But, yeah. So, if you guys are done cutting, I guess I'll just like bend the creases a bit just in case some of you are still cutting a bit. Like that, so it's easier to fold when we're making our zine. Okay, so once you have the middle cut, we're gonna fold it again the first way we folded it. Okay. Okay, and like watch this, guys. We're gonna take the middle parts and we're gonna separate it like this. Alright, so that we can do this. You guys got that? Okay, I'll like redo that just in case. Okay, so we got our plain piece of paper with all of our sections. It's all folded up. Then we're gonna fold it again the first time we did it. And then we're going to open this middle part like so, and then fold it like that. Okay? Oh yeah, by the way, if you guys want me to like repeat anything or slow down, just like, yeah, say it in the comments. Or if you need to get my attention, use the like ask feature. You guys can ask me any questions. Well, not any questions, but I mean, I'll answer what I can. And okay, so for this part, once you've done that, usually my next step is I start trying to fold it. Sometimes it looks a little wonky like that, so oftentimes I just go like this and to try to find like the best way that it folds. And I think it folds best, hold on, this way. Okay. Okay, so after you've done all of that, just like flatten the edges so that it's like really secure. And then once you're done that, then you're gonna have your little booklet. See? Ooh, your zine is already coming together. See? Okay, so for these zines, you have like 1, 2. Watch me counting on live, even though I've done this a million times. You have 6 pages here, including a front cover and a back cover. Okay, the thing that I was going to do that I decided to leave off till later was when you finally have the way you want it to crease it, then we can mark the pages usually. It helps me to like figure out what like pages are gonna, like what we're gonna put on which pages. Oh, thanks, Maddie. Thanks everyone, you're so supportive. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so once you have your little booklet, then I don't know, this is what I do personally. If you like to do things like one and done all throughout, not thinking about anything, I mean, that's your business. I won't judge you for it. I do it sometimes. But okay, so I'm gonna mark down my pages. I'm gonna mark down the cover, the back cover, and then like 1, 2, 3, 4 within the pages. I suggest pencil, so just in case you're like drawing in it and you don't want any like pencil markings to block it, then yeah, pencil will be easiest to rub out. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Okay, so super easy. That only took me like 2 seconds. But yeah, so I got my C for cover, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I don't know, me personally, I like to keep the first page blank. I don't know, to feel like a real, like, magazine or whatever, but I don't know, that's just personal preference. But, yeah, so you're gonna have the base of your little zine right here. Okay. So, I guess we can start pasting. I don't know how many of you. I should have specified this, so sorry if you guys are caught off guard. But I asked to have, like, cutouts of the things that you wanted to put in your zines. So for me, throughout, summertime, like, right when school, like, got canceled because of COVID, so around March, I don't know, I was finding a lot of music, so I was super into some albums. So today my zine is gonna showcase those albums that I was, like, super obsessed with at the beginning of quarantine. I still listen to some of these, but yeah, I'm gonna focus on that. Okay, so I have all my layouts here. And okay, one tip for when you're designing is, because it's so easy to open up the page like that, and if you marked your pages, then you can literally, like, design it as a page like this, so you don't have to stick to the booklet to start pasting your stuff on. If it's easier for you to do it flat and stuff like that, then that's totally fine. That's up to you. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna start designing now. So personally, usually the way I do this is I like to make backgrounds for my zines. So I'm gonna start with pages 1 and 2, and I don't know, okay, I'll show you guys an example. But, like, for example, in my I Draw Lines zine, then I made, like, something like that. So I think I should imitate that for the background. Yeah, so yeah, let me know what you guys are making your zines about, because I definitely want to know. Don't just let me talk this whole time, even though, like, it's a live stream, obviously I'm talking. But I want to know about you guys too, so I'm gonna get started on that, and then I'll just wait for, like, those things to roll in. But yeah. Ooh, yeah, also highly recommend you get, like, a good eraser, because I don't know, I haven't used pencils in so long, but the ones that I got, the erasers are so terrible, so now whenever I try to, like, erase, it just, like, marks it really bad. Ooh, okay. Okay, yeah. All right. I mean, you guys can do, like, really anything with these zines. I know usually when you're making zines like this, classic zine or classic broke student. Oh yeah, that's another thing I should mention. So technically I did say that you should have cutouts, and I know sometimes some people don't have printers, so I do acknowledge that that's not always accessible. But yeah, the thing that again, another thing that I love about these zines is that you can literally just draw in it. So it's like I did with my I Draw Lines zine. It's literally all just my own drawings. So you don't have to have a printer at home. Sorry guys, I should have, like, specified that. I know it's not that accessible, but that's usually how I do it. Not that that's universal, but yeah. But yeah, if you want, you can, like, just draw everything. That would be awesome too. We love seeing art. We love encouraging art here, and we will not judge your creation. I'm sure it'll look amazing. But yeah, you can also, like, One thing that's really common in zine culture is just like repurposing. So yeah, you can totally use magazine cutouts, you can totally use your own photos. You can use pretty much anything that's around you that you can like paste and like cut out and paste. So collaging is like really common in the zine culture, so like don't even worry about that. That is totally acceptable. Also, printer ink is so insanely expensive. I hate, like, for the amount we have to print, like when we were still going to school, like printer ink was insane, and I feel so bad for my mother. I don't know, I sometimes find this like, yup, so unfair. I find this part really therapeutic since like you're literally just drawing in, and that's another thing I love about zines is that it's like pretty time consuming, but at the end you get something really cool, which obviously is like really common for arts and crafts. You just put effort into it even if you're not like totally into it. If you're feeling kind of bad, if you want a distraction, you can just do some arts and crafts, and then at the end you will have your little creation. So that's fine. Okay. And I'll do one more. By the way, guys, I highly encourage you to like send us photos of your zines because I would love to see that, please. The Ryerson Library printers, I miss that because actually no, I shouldn't say that because a lot of students were taking advantage of that and I don't want to ruin that for next year's. But I miss printing on campus a lot because there were a lot of benefits. But yeah, this world is too expensive. Okay, so I finished the design of my first 2 pages. Let's see? So those are gonna be the first 2 pages. I don't know, maybe you're one of those people who are like, ooh, it's gonna be blocked by the cutouts anyway, so what's the point? I mean, that's your business. That's fine, but it's what I like to do. Very therapeutic, as we all have been saying we liked. But, yeah. I was actually watching this YouTube video, and then the guy was like talking in his kitchen, and then I saw this design on his towels, and I thought it was really cool, so I use it a lot now. But yeah, okay. I think for my next 2 pages, I'm gonna do... I'll do it the other way. By the way, remember guys, if you have any like questions, I will answer them for you to the best of my abilities. And I guess for those of you who just showed up, I'll quickly go through what we did at the beginning again, since we're still we're pretty into it. But okay, if you have your like plain piece of letter paper, it'll look like, well, not like this, but it'll look creaseless. And basically what I showed everyone at the beginning, okay, once you have your straight paper like that, then you're gonna fold it like that. And then you're gonna fold it in half once. What theme are you thinking for the zine after the BIPOC one? Okay, yeah. That's a good thing that Lydia, brought up. If you guys didn't see, our first zine of the year is gonna be focusing on Black, Indigenous, and people of color. So we're going to be spotlighting their writing and their art because we thought that it was really crucial that we listen to those communities at this time. We don't know what we're going to do for our next zine, which is probably going to come out in December. Our group is still like, we're not discussing that yet. We still have to get through this zine, but I don't know. I guess maybe since it hasn't happened yet, maybe something related to COVID and like isolation, like very on theme, I think. But I don't know, if you guys have any suggestions of what the continuous should do for our next zine, let us know. But yeah, I don't know, there's probably gonna be at least one like COVID isolation, quarantine themed zine throughout this year, because obviously it like affected all of us, so that's super important. But sorry, where was I? But okay, so yeah, after you do this, and then you fold it once across, and then you fold it again like that, and then you're gonna have like the start of your little booklet, but it's gonna be like solid. So once you do all of that, then you're gonna like open it up again, and then it's gonna like look like that. It's gonna have creases now. And then usually what I do is just like fold it up like all over so that the creases are really like pronounced. But then what you're gonna do, what I was suggesting earlier, is that I highly recommend getting an X-Acto knife when you're cutting straight lines. And it's only like $4 plus tax at Dollarama. But once you have your creased pages, then you're gonna take the zine, and if you have scissors, you can like try to work that out. But essentially what you're gonna do is that you're gonna leave, you know how there's like sections like that? You're gonna leave the edges alone, and you're only gonna cut the middle part. So that, yeah, once you're done cutting the middle part like that, and you're able to open it up, then we're gonna fold it again, and then we're gonna open it up in the middle like a diamond like that, and then we're gonna go like that so that it's a little cross, and then we're gonna fold it up. In like, one thing that I mentioned, that sometimes it looks a little wonky the first time you fold it up a bit, so you can literally just like go like that and just try to figure out which kind of fold like you prefer, which works best for you. So that's totally up to you, like it's totally preferenced. And then, yeah, once you finish doing that, then you'll have your little zine with all the pages, like that. And one thing I suggested was, if it makes it easier for you, you can, like, mark down, like, the cover, and then you have your first 2 pages, your next 2 pages, and then your last 2 pages, and then a back cover, if that makes it easier for you to design within your zine. And then once you're done that, especially if you want to work on a flat surface, that's like another great thing about these zines, is that you can just go like that, and then if you're drawing, you can go by that and just like, yeah, draw in your designs. So yeah, okay, so I was working on my next 2 pages, so yeah, I'll get back to that. And hopefully you guys got that, all of you who just tuned in. Sorry if I went too fast. But yeah, when you're drawing in the stuff you want to put in your zine, you can use any type of writing utensils. I'm using a marker right now, but that's only because I'm like drawing in backgrounds. Like I'll probably use the markers I have. I really wanted to use crayons because I love crayons, but I could not find my crayons. So we're gonna use markers today. Really? Properly fold papers for a midterm? Can you fail that? That would kind of suck if you failed folding paper. Unless it's like an origami class, but I feel like origami is creative, so... And isn't creativity subjective? Art subjective? Who knows? Okay, so I got my pages for my next 2 pages. It was like really simple. So it was just lines. But I hope your pages are looking poppin'. I'm sure they are, because you're all talented and amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna work on my last 2 pages. Okay, I don't know what design I want to do. I think maybe circles? It wasn't even origami. It wasn't even origami. Well, I mean, maybe it's a life skill. Who knows? Maybe they teach it to you now, and then, like, a few years down the line, you're gonna have to fold paper in a very, like, efficient way, and then you were prepared for it. So, always look on the bright side of your odd situations, everyone. Okay, I'm gonna do circles, because I don't know what else to do. Ooh, I'm gonna do circles and lines. This is a very line-forward evening. You know, sometimes you just gotta do what comes to you. You know, everybody can be creative. If you think you're unable to be creative, obviously I don't want to tell you what to think, but honestly, you can do whatever you want. And that's the beauty of art, is it not? That you can do anything. You can take whatever's in your mind, draw it out. I wish I could do that. I'm not a very good drawer. That's why I'm into collages, so I'm not drawing my own stuff. Maddie, I'm pretty sure people already think you're cool. So, but I guess, yeah, now that you know how to make zines, this is a super great skill to have, guys. Because you can make zines about anything you like. So what I was saying beforehand, for those of you who weren't here, you can literally, like, the best thing about these little zines, or, like, zine culture in general, is that you can make zines about literally anything you want. Like, any interest that you have, you can make a zine for it. And... you know, if you want to distribute it, like I said, these are really easy to photocopy. Again, if you have a printer, sorry for those of you who don't have a printer. I totally understand if that's, like, inaccessible to you right now. But, I mean, if you ever, like, find a scanner, you can totally scan this. You can put it up on the internet. You can, like you can literally have people print out your zine, and they'll have a little copy for themselves. Or you can just mail people the original zine. But yeah, up to you, totally. Ooh, Rebecca? Okay, that is so true. Okay, I'm a perfectionist, and I did not know until the last year of high school when my guidance counselor literally had to tell me, you're a perfectionist, and I was like, what? I don't care about perfection that much. But then he explained it, and I was like, oh shoot, yeah, that's me. So I totally understand if you're a perfectionist and, like, doing stuff like this sort of freaks you out, because it's like, ooh, like, what if I don't want it to look this way in the end? I don't know, me personally, that, like, it's like we were saying before, it's, like, pretty therapeutic. You can, like, literally just do whatever you want. And maybe if you want to do this again, you can do it at your own pace. I'm sort of doing it quickly because I want to show you guys how to do this within the hour, but... yeah, I think with art, I do see how perfectionism gets really annoying, but hopefully if you're able to like literally just let loose, like the first shape that comes to your mind, like put it on paper and like try to draw around it. So like I didn't know what to do for these last 2 pages, and then I thought, ooh, circles. So then I thought circles, and I'm really married to the line. So then I'm adding lines right now. So I do understand how perfectionism can like sort of hinder you in that way, but sometimes like if you just do it, you'll really like the result in the end. Or if you're like really scared about just freestyling it, then you can always like plan your zines beforehand, and that's completely fine. Everything at your own pace, guys. Actually, I'm gonna use squares, because that's awesome. See, I thought of squares, and now I'm drawing them. So sometimes you just gotta like stop thinking and just do what comes to you. Also, you don't have to worry, because if you have your cutouts, then you're gonna be pasting over it anyway, so if you don't have your cutouts, that's also fine. You can do what I'm doing right now and just draw your way through your zine. Or if you have a topic that like you want to address that you're super knowledgeable about and you want to make a zine about it right now, that's totally fine too. Like for example, if you're really knowledgeable about cows and you have a few facts you want to put down, you can literally like take your cover and say the All About Cow zine, and then put some facts on the paper, make some little doodles, some cow-related farm doodles, and that is a legitimate zine. Ain't nobody can tell you what you can and can't do in zine culture, because it's all about freedom. Ooh, would you guys be interested in knowing about zine culture? Because I know all about that. Ooh. Okay, I was like so hesitant about the squares and the circles, but I think it looks pretty good, guys. Not gonna lie. And I feel like since they're like going within each other, then the colors would look so good. Ooh, okay, so many of you are enthusiastic about this. Okay, so if you don't know me, I'm like, one of my favorite subject is history. I'm like a huge history nerd. And like the main area that I'm interested in is music culture, especially obviously American popular music. And when I was a kid, I was super into punk culture. And so zines are integral to punk culture, because if any of you know the like essence of punk, essentially it's like anti-establishment, anti-capitalist. So that is like the basis of the punk spirit. And I even wrote an essay about it. Okay, so my favorite punk guy is Richard Hell, and he was a zinester in his early days because he wanted to be a writer when he went to New York, but obviously like no one's gonna take writing from some like snot-nosed kid who like looks dirty, and he looked they didn't like kids like that, so they didn't want to take their work obviously in the New Yorker and like more mainstream things like that. So people would make their own zines to distribute their work, and it's integral to punk culture. And like punk culture is sort of I won't go that into it, but punk culture really popped off in like 1975 about. That's where it sort of like started. And then, but it really popped off in the year 1977. But a lot of these like early punk kids, they used like zine making as a way of like distributing their artwork, distributing their writing. You can like easily search up like punk zines on Google, and you'll get like so many. One of the most popular ones were like Sniff and Glue. That's the only one I can think of at the moment, but you can find a lot of like stuff about punk rock and like zines, because they're like interchangeable, like they're married to each other. But yeah, okay, so I have my little zine right here. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I don't have my cover in my back because I usually like to save those things for last. I can't see what you guys are doing, but I'm sure it looks amazing. Please, I hope you guys like at least take a picture and like tag us, like the continuous, and then use the hashtag continuezines. And like I would really like to see that. Obviously you don't have to, don't want to make you do anything you don't want to do, but I would love to see that. Okay. So I think I'm gonna start pasting my little cutouts onto my zine. Okay, so like I said before, my zine is gonna be about the music that I was listening to. And yeah, so if you want to do this too, one thing that I really liked the zine wise, and then plus you can get from Spotify, is that Spotify it gives you a little code to like you can send it to people, and then if they have their phones, they can like put their phone to it in the Spotify app, and then it'll send them directly to the music, and then they can listen to it themselves. So that's what I love about this zine, is that I'm gonna use that. So I have like my little code here, and then I'm gonna like post it on my pages so that whoever gets my zine, they can have new music to listen to. But yeah, like I said, the theme is books, movies, music, or TV shows, because I know a lot of you have Netflix that have been getting you through quarantine. So if you're doing movies, like that would be awesome. I don't want to see that. I could do that, but I literally only watched like one movie over and over again for like 3 months straight. Yeah, quarantine was a bit much. But anyways, okay, so I'm gonna start pasting. So this is where we need our glue stick, y'all. Technically you can use like liquid glue, but I don't know, if you're impatient like me, then you can use like this glue stick. I don't know, for me personally, usually when I collage, I like to use tape instead, since for tape you can like literally take it off. You can move it around if you wanted to. Again, if you're a perfectionist, that's like a perfect solution. Double-sided tape. That's a smart way to do that. So, I don't know, usually I like to use tape, but you know, sometimes, but like since the zine is pretty small, I usually just use glue, so it's fine. And I'm gonna start gluing my stuff. Yup, quarantine, it's still a bit much, right? Okay, I guess I'll go into like what I'm doing. So, I was obsessed with this album, like at the beginning of quarantine. It's Discs Collector, DISQ. And if you haven't really gotten over your like teenage angst phase and you need some music, they're not a screamo band, they're like sort of like Weezer a bit, I think. I may be like not classifying them correctly, but there's some songs that really pop off. Hi Diditi, thank you for joining us. Okay, so I'm just gonna like paste it on. Remember guys, it doesn't have to be perfect as long as you love it in the end. Okay, and then I have this little cutout of the band. Oh yeah, okay, one thing that I should mention, when you're like, usually the way I do it is that I go on Word, like Microsoft Word, and then I just like take photos from the internet and I just put it in there. By the way, one thing about that, so you don't like get sued or anything, you like when you're doing zines like this where you're just printing out like photos from the internet, especially Google, if you're not sure about the copyright stuff, I highly suggest, if you want to share them, do not sell them for profit. That's how you can easily avoid getting sued, and we don't want any of y'all to get sued because you're probably like under 25 and have no money. So yeah, like if it's for personal use, then that's completely fine. Because you're not making profit off of it. And if you're making profit, there's always someone who wants to stop you or corrupt you. Oop, don't mean to get political on Maine, but y'all know it's true. And I'm gonna put them at the bottom here. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Probably gonna color in after, since I think that's like the longest thing to do. Okay. I think I'm gonna do the seasons next. Well, no, I'm not selling. I am not selling. The whole point of this is for it to be accessible and free. I mean, yeah, we're not accepting cash at the moment. Sorry, guys. That's a little unethical. But maybe if I create like super original ones of like my really terrible art, then hit me up and then you can buy it. But I don't feel comfortable like taking money from you guys, so I probably won't. Okay, so this next group, now this was a really good pop album. I have no idea why or where I was, but I don't know. I was like looking for new music, obviously, and then I came across some francophone artists, so like some French artists from Canada. And then I came across this album and this band called The Seasons. Now their album Pulp, it's like a really good pop album. Like they sort of do folk sometimes, and their music is really like guitar and acoustic guitar based. From like beginning to end, that album is like a perfect pop album. Like I love that album. I could listen to it like all the time. The first track, Apples, now that song is so catchy. I love that song. So yeah, I'm not sure how many of you are interested in like listening to full albums, but if you want to give it a try, I know sometimes it's like, ooh, this album's so good, but then you listen to it and it's like, I do not like this. I mean, that's fine too, but I don't know, I think it's a pretty good album. I love that album, like beginning to end, and I think they cover a lot of genres, so maybe there's something for you in there. But the bass is definitely pop. They made really good pop songs. I don't think they're doing anything anymore. Like, they don't even have an Instagram. Not that you have to have an Instagram to, like, do stuff. But, yeah. Okay. So I'm just pasting the band members that I cut out into my zine. I don't know, what music have you guys been listening to in quarantine? If music was your forte. Or what movies have you been watching? I don't know, I haven't been watching a lot of movies lately since I've been swamped with work. Which I know a lot of you are too. So I guess like at the beginning of quarantine, like in summertime, if you weren't working and you were like me, and we were just bumming around, what were you listening to or what were you watching? All right, okay, so I got my first 2 pages there. So we got Disc and their album Collector there. And then we have The Seasons, B-movie. Okay, well, for those of you who know me, I'm sorry, but I hate B-movie. Like, anybody who knows me knows that I'm very vocal about my B-movie hatred. Like, that movie's terrible. I'm sorry. It makes me so mad. But, I mean, if you like B-movie, that's fine. That's just my personal preference. The one scene that makes me so mad is when that one bee Barry's friend, I don't know his name because obviously I hate that movie, so I'm not gonna memorize anybody else's name. Yeah, his friend? He, like, stung that guy in court, which I'm pretty sure is assault, but... Okay, I don't know. But... that was assault. But, yeah, so he stung this guy in court, and then it affected him so much that he had to go to the hospital. And I don't know if you guys know the plot of the movie, but... basically, Barry got big mad that humans were taking advantage of bees, which I sort of agree with, because, you know... we exploit a lot of creatures, including ourselves. So I do support Barry in that, like, fury that we did take advantage of them, like, to, like, a lot. But, like, his reasonings were so stupid. I'm sorry, like... First of all, his girlfriend, she owned a flower shop. Girl, do you know how important bees are to your business? Like, you don't have to stop being a florist, like, to respect the bees. You can work with the bees so that both of you get the benefit of, you know, pollinating flowers. Like, if you pay them back, that's, like, fine. My gosh, I'm sorry, I'm going so off. I don't even know where I was. But yeah, like, you're a florist, don't you know that? How do you know so much about this movie? Because, okay, when you're debating, you need to know both sides. And obviously, since I hate it so much, I know about it. I need to know how to argue. But yeah, she should know how crucial our bees are to the world. So the fact that she was like, oh yeah, Barry, I agree with you. You should totally, like, sue the human race. And then they were surprised when, like, all of the plants died and there were no more, like no more grass in New York City. Like, girl, what did you think? Do you know how bees work? Anyways, back to the hospital bed. One scene that really pissed me off was when his friend stung that guy, and then he had to be sent to the hospital, a human hospital. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. Everyone deserves, like, healthcare. But, like, they gave him a full-sized human bed. Like, why would you give an itty-bitty bee a full-sized human bed? Like, imagine, this is my main argument. Imagine you're rolling into the hospital. You need a hospital bed. It's an emergency. And then they're like, sorry, you can't, like, we're out of beds because this bee took the last one. I'd be so mad. But okay, I'll end my rant there. I thought that was ridiculous. If you guys disagree, let me know in the comments. I will hear you out. But I don't know. I thought that scene was ridiculous. Because it's like, yeah, bees are amazing, but, like, do not give them human beds when they can fit perfectly on a pillow. Like, he could have survived on a pillow. Thank you. Anyways. Yeah. So I'm on my my third and fourth pages. I'll get back to the music. No more B-movie ranting. Okay, here we go with the B-movie apologists. That's fine. Always people out there who wanna, you know, justify this nonsense. But that's fine. Okay, I'll read it out. LMAO, maybe it was a slow day at the hospital. Okay, actually, that's a legitimate reason. Maybe. But the fact is that we'll never know. So, that's just my opinion. Sorry if you disagree. But yeah. I guess if it wasn't busy, yeah, he could have the hospital bed. But I still think he was totally fine after. Like, he was just being extra. He didn't... Okay. Enough B-movie talk. This is clearly a sensitive issue. So, only bring it up when you're ready to debate. Because it can get pretty spicy real quick. Okay, I'll get back to the subject matter. You should make an anti-B-movie zine. That is a great idea, Maddie. Maybe I will, and then maybe that's the zine that I'll sell for profit. Ooh, that was very capitalist of me. I'm sorry. I should not be like mixing hatred with capitalism, because that's like really bad. Oh gosh. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, you guys can do that without me, I guess. That's fine. I see some people, like, there are a million movies in the world, so I don't know why you'd want to watch B movie, but I mean, like, there's Shrek. We all love Shrek. Now that's a good movie. I think that's a movie that everyone can agree that is like a cinematic masterpiece. So no arguing there. If you have anti-Shrek sentiments, I would like to know, because I've never heard anything bad about Shrek. Okie dokie. Okay, so 8 out of 10? Okay, I don't know about that, but I mean, that's your opinion. That's fine. Anyways, back to zine making. Okay, so, I got, like, as you guys remember, I have my first 2 pages, which featured Disc and the seasons. Okay, so this page has, okay, I'm gonna butcher his name because he's Quebecois. And, like, obviously it's probably going to sound ugly, so I'm sorry to the entire province of Quebec. But his name is Hubert Lenoir. Oh my gosh, that was so ugly. You know what? I'll just, like... No, never mind. Okay, but, so he came out in 2018 with this album called Darlene. I love that album. To this day, I listen to it, like, all the time. I love it. It's a concept album, and... I mean, he's a little odd. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think that's what I find appealing about him, is that he seems like one of those people who's not afraid to be himself. And I really admire that in an artist. But also, I really love artists who are able to blend, like, so many different genres. And I just got a notification that they're gonna cut me off. See, it's that B movie thing, probably. See, I shouldn't have shared my opinion. Sorry, guys. But I mean, yeah, so I don't know where you are with your zine, but essentially that's what a one-page zine looks like. So see, that's what we have. My cover and back cover aren't filled in yet, but you can, this zine is so, like, easy to make. It's, I don't know, it's, like, really therapeutic, honestly. If you have a lot of time to kill and you just want to be creative, you can just make this zine, think of something you love. You do not need printouts. That is not a requirement if you don't have a printer, because that is inaccessible. But yeah, so this is my zine. I'll probably, like, work on it. Well, not now, because I have so much work. But, but I will, like, stylize it. I'll probably share it on, like, our social media. But you guys, if you guys made this along with me, we would really like to see your zines, because this is what we did this for, so that we can show you guys how to do it. And then, like, now you have a new skill, and, you know, like, get all the information that you want out there, your information. Yeah, so I'm gonna get cut off soon. But yeah, this was fun, guys. You're all an amazing audience. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. But yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone. It's really cool. Okay, well, see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. See ya.